What's up, folks? I had an Insomnia round tonight, which hasn't happened in a while. We did go to bed kind of early. Um, I thought I was going to be able to just wake up and keep all the lights off, make some coffee, and just come sneak on and do a stream in the dark. But when I woke up and started making coffee, all the cats woke up, and then Chris woke up, and she was like, "Well, I'm not very sleepy anyway," so we just decided to all get up. So it's going to be a weird day today. Um, because we all got out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I know Leia is in here with one of the kittens. I don't know who, though. So, yeah, welcome to the Random Insomnia stream, ladies and gentlemen. Supposed to go play EverQuest in a few hours with my P99, not my P99, the TLP group. So we'll see here in a bit. Let's get in Discord real quick. I need to, oh man, I gotta keep an eye on the kittens. We'll see what they do. What's up, Jackson? If we see kittens jumping behind me on the bed, I'll have to dip out real quick just to get those. All right. Well, since I'm up and the whole house is up, let's do a little bit of World of Warcraft questing. I know I need to turn this quest in. I haven't really had any insomnia since we moved to the countryside, to be honest with you. But that's also because my sleep schedule is a lot different here, so it'll be an interesting day today. Looks like Leia and Frodo. I'm gonna fix the sheet before anything gets crazy. It's a crazy kitten is what this is. Go say hi to everybody. I'm a crazy kitten. I'm the crazy kitten. I can't have that in here right now. I'm not alert enough to pay attention to cats jumping on the map. I put them all out, which means Christina gets to deal with them. I don't know where Chris is right now. I think she went outside to scout the perimeter and give some water to her chickens and stuff. Frodo was being crazy. I don't know if you saw that. He's bouncing off the freaking everything, and then he started jumping on the map. So it's like, yeah, if you're gonna jump on the map, I gotta put you out, buddy. I can't. That's when we had to prohibit Leia from being in the room too. Was when she started pulling. I can't tell you how many streams she pulled that map off the wall in 6 or 7 streams. At some point, it's just like, that's enough. Training to be ninjas. All right. Well, we're gonna do something for a few hours. My EQTLP group starts at 7, so we'll switch over in about 3 hours to do that. But assuming I don't get sleepy. If I get sleepy, I might go get another hour's worth of sleep or something. But otherwise, it's gonna be a. In the past, when I play my sessions with my brother at 4 a.m., I usually get up at 3:30. We'll play from 4 to 6, and then I go do something else for a few hours, and then I go back to bed at like 11 a.m. So more than likely what we'll be doing is I'll be streaming today from 3 to 7 Warcraft, and then 7 to 10 will be EverQuest, and then I'm going back to sleep. And then the rest of the day is mine, which today is going to be, I got to read a couple of chapters in the 2 Towers and get my video prep for tomorrow's Mondays in Middle-earth. That'll be later this afternoon, and we've got to get I'm going to get a Rings of Power video prepped for tomorrow morning. I don't often do Monday morning posts, but I'm going to try one this Monday and see how the algorithm treats it. We'll see. This Monday's post, you'll like this, Jackson. This Monday's post is going to be a fun one because literally the showrunners just made a statement a few days ago, which I'm sure you've seen.
What can I do for you?
The showrunners made a statement that we're not trying to make any political statements with our show. We're trying to create something that's timeless, like what Tolkien wrote. And I'm like, oh my God, how can you literally sit there with a straight face and claim that you're not making political statements with your show when your executive producer is making these statements about how you have to make a modern adaptation and how female orcs are a necessary adaptation, and you have your freaking one of the lead actresses in the show on stage doing press claiming how because she's a big black woman that she's going to change the face of cinema because of the representation that's happening in the Rings of Power adaptation. I feel like that they're only making that statement because people are in an uproar about Rings of Power being a political statement show. And so the showrunner's like, that's not true. It's not a political statement. Too late for that. That gong has been rung. Equip. We're definitely equipping this. No, I think I want this trinket instead.
Or the Alliance.
16,000 experience for that quest. That's pretty awesome. All right. Well, I suppose I could go back to Daenerys and work on those quests. Let's just do that. I've got a bunch of quests here. Back to Daenerys. Benza says, so bizarre that people are so obsessed with race. It is true. Oh, there's a mosquito, which I may have just killed into my coffee. I think I'm good. Even if not, it's protein. Send me all the links, Jackson. You may have permission in the Discord. I don't know if you've leveled up enough in our Discord, Jackson, to send links now in the general section. But if you haven't, and you get a warning from the bot, just send them to me directly. I'm always happy to read stuff. I'm not currently covering anything other than Rings of Power. I did review the Wheel of Time when it came out, but it was before my channel started getting bigger. And I'm definitely going to be, as we get closer to, whenever they start doing press for the Wheel of Time Season 2, I'm going to start also covering a Wheel of Time rant series, like the Rings of Power, just to see if I get traffic from it. Because if it does, if I get traffic from it, and it turns out to be something that is going to work for my YouTube channel, then I will add that to the rotation. But like, I really loved doing my best sci-fi TV show series, but that wasn't getting a lot of traffic, so I kind of just haven't done one of those in a couple months. Sticky tar. We're not going into the crater right now, but we have a whole bunch of quests over here, so let's do these. Maybe I'll just do a big semicircle here, and oh, there's more quests down there. I'll be damned. All right. Oh, that's Tuga's quest showing up, so he must be a pather. Modernizing Robin Hood. Well, to be fair, in my time, I've seen probably a dozen Robin Hood variations. Oh, I finally got the mosquito. I don't know if you can see that. You totally can see that on my hand. I got that little bastard. Robin Hood has been modernized a lot, so I wouldn't. That's nothing new. One of my first contracts as a writer years and years and years ago was helping a European client build a website around Robin Hood mythology and all the variations of Robin Hood that exist in the world. And so I spent like 3 months, I think, 3 or 4 months. All I did was read up on Robin Hood mythology and the different variations and write a website and just fill a website with tons of content around Robin Hood. One of the coolest projects I had at the beginning of my writing career. It was a lot of fun. There's so many where, Robin Hood's the bad guy and Sheriff of Nottingham is the good guy. Like, it's such an interesting mythology because we've not seen in modern depictions on the big screen or the small screen, we have not seen an adaptation where the Sheriff of Nottingham is the good guy. He's always the bad guy, but yet in the written version, the Sheriff of Nottingham, more often than not, is the good guy in the story. And Robin Hood is literally a cutthroat thief. Like, it's very interesting how the one version where Robin Hood is the good guy, which is not the most common, is the one that has won out as being the one that has been depicted on the big screen and in modern literature the most frequently. Oh, yeah, I mean, it is what it is at that point. I think I will give Robin Hood a pass because it's such an old literary property that at this point we've seen the traditional tropes so frequently that like doing something like that with Robin Hood seems a little silly, but also like I'm shrugging my shoulders going, okay, because we've got 30 other really good adaptations of Robin Hood that we can go to, but that does seem kind of silly. In some versions, Robin was a lower class nobleman, not in all the versions. The more modern versions, yes. But in some, he was literally nothing more than a cutthroat thief. Which were the ones that really fascinated me. I loved, not gonna lie, it's kind of a campy version, but Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner is, I love it. Like, it's not the necessarily the best, but I just enjoy it a lot. Whoa, am I getting an ad over here? I'm totally getting an ad. Little bastard was spawning babies. Okay, I may have to be careful out here. These things are kind of nasty. They haven't dropped anything yet, though. What a pain. Robin Hood and Little John running through the forest. The Disney version is a hell of a lot of fun. That's an old film. Where are you running to, buddy? Where are you going? Oh my god, I've killed like 6 or 8 of these things and they haven't dropped anything yet. Centipar insect. Bring them... Yeah, I mean... Woot! Oh, I just noticed that like all these leg things are twitching up in the sky. That's creepy as fuck. Archery contest was one of the funnest parts of that film. That was just a good movie all around, like just a fun. And it had good songs throughout, you know? Like not all Disney movies were bad. Some of those Disney animated films were quite good. Zipar Tunneler. Chris is yelling at somebody. The cats are doing naughty things. I may have to get to a safe spot and go see what she's up to. I'd probably wait till I get my other cup of coffee. She's a big girl. She can handle it. Don't you dare hit me with a copyright strike, YouTube, for humming a song from a Disney movie. I also really enjoy, and not everyone is of the same mind, but Ridley Scott did a version with Russell Crowe um, that I think is exceptionally well done. It's probably 10 years old by now. I thought it was really good. Chris and I watch it about once a year with Kate Blanchett. Um, it's got a really good cast. And it's just, I like Ridley Scott's epic films. Like, I guess he's filming one right now, or it's getting ready to release. I need to look it up. I saw it the other day, and I went, ooh, he's doing another. I'm gonna go look it up while I'm medding Ridley Scott. Because as much as I like his Alien films, I much prefer his, like, epic. He does good sci-fi, but he also does amazing epic. I don't care about the Gladiator 2. That's not the one I'm thinking of. Oh my God, he's got a show. God, good God. What a busy dude. Like, he's got a whole bunch of stuff in the works. Napoleon. That's the one I was looking at. He's got Napoleon, which is in post-production, and that's with Joaquin Phoenix as playing the role of Napoleon. I have no doubt that's going to be a good movie. Because Joaquin Phoenix doesn't fuck around. Like, he's a really good actor. And I like Ridley's historical films. And this wand is really fast. He's also got Empire of the Summer Moon. Is that going to follow the Empire of the Rising? No, the story of Comanche warrior in chief Quina. That's going to be good. The Cartel. Gladiator 2. Earthless. David. Ooh, he's doing the Epic of David? That's a Bible story. The retelling tale of the story of David versus Goliath. Man, Ridley Scott's got some cool stuff coming out. Good stuff. It was definitely a different interpretation of the Joker for sure. It's one of his. If you go to his IMDb page, he's got a. It's like the most. It's one of the. It's the very very top project that he's got in the works, which means it's the last one that's gonna get worked on. It's the furthest out from actually being produced. But yeah, it's on there. It says an epic retelling of the David versus Goliath story from the Bible. That's gonna be good. I really liked. If you haven't seen the Noah adaptation that Darren Aronofsky did, it was very interesting. Definitely different. Um, I love how they took creative liberties. So I don't mean to be offensive to anyone here. Um, to me, this is just my opinion, and I don't mean to be offensive to anyone else. I grew up in a religious household. I am no longer that way. And to me, the Bible is like many other religious books in the world. It has similar stories to many other culturally relevant religious books and a lot of parables and things of that nature, which are great storytelling devices for life lessons and consequences. Now, I know to some people the Bible is a sacred text, and I totally respect people's opinion if they want to think it that way, but that's not my point of view. So when I watched that film, I was like, it's interesting that we take a book full. I thought Darren Aronofsky's take was very interesting because he took these elements of storytelling and then he dove deeper into the texts and actually pulled things out that were more of like the sci-fi elements of what the Bible has in there because there's a lot of tales about fallen angels and the stone creatures and all this other stuff, and I love the fact that he wove it in there. And I know people like my parents watched that film and were like, "Oh my God, this is sacrilege," because they felt that the story had been Hollywoodized, and I was like, actually, all he's done is he's just taken some of the elements of Old Testament scripture that a lot of people have forgotten about, like six-fingered giants and alien and angels who have sex with humans and spawn these weird Nephilim creatures, and there's a lot of weird stuff in there. All right, I'm gonna get out of here to a safe spot, and I need to go get another cup of coffee and also check on Chris. I don't hear any yelling going on right now, so whatever happened was temporary, but I'm assuming one of the cats did something naughty because we don't have kids, so. Alright. I feel like there's no safe spot in this desert. Am I relatively safe here? Maybe. I'll be right back. We're about to test to see if Frodo can handle not jumping on the map. He is being crazy little boy. I don't know why he wanted to come in here because his other Luke and Leia are out there, as are his 4 other siblings. And Chris, that's why she was yelling. She said they're all just being crazy. They are normally not up at this hour. Like, we don't usually feed them until 6 or 7. I didn't give them their full amount of food, but I gave them like a couple of small scoops of cat food. And now he in particular, also his older sister Leia, Chris said she was being really nice. She just got put outside because she's just like jumping on all the things. Woo! What you doing? What you doing? Just don't jump on the map, buddy. As long as you just run around the bed with the zoomies, you're fine. Don't do the map. Oh, you're jumping over here. Come on. They're not getting enough of their energy outside in the... Because that peregrine falcon's been hanging out the last 2 days, wanting to eat little kittens, so... You coming? You gonna get it? Are you gonna get it? Whoa! You got it! It's great that a movie about David and Goliath is being made. Hopefully it's just a movie and not a political push. There you go. As someone who slowly grew David and Goliath such an important story, it is an important story. It's also a story that shows up in a lot of different texts. I also really liked Ridley Scott's. He did. Didn't he do a Moses film that was really, really good with Christian Bale and that Australian actor whose name I'm forgetting? Hang on, I'm gonna go look it up now. I have not watched The Last Duel yet. I need to watch that. Where is this? I did not know he was an executive producer on The Man in the High Castle. That was a very good show. Taboo. That was a great show. I wish it would have gotten a second season. Exodus. Gods and Kings. Hey, Christian Bale. Why am I blanking on the other guys? He's the Joel Edgerton. Exodus. Gods and Kings. Freaking phenomenal film. All right. Are you calming down, buddy? Can I have a cookie and eat? Can I have a cookie in peace is going to be the question, because he may come decide that he wants to steal my cookie if he realizes that Daddy's eating something. Are you calming down? Hmm. Alright, let's get buffed up. Have my other 2 cookies here. I have to break these in half because they're too big to get into the cup. I did not used to like cookies with coffee. In my first cup of coffee, I always drink black, but Chris got me hooked on these, like, and they might be called digestives or something in the UK, but they're just like a really good kind of graham cracker cookie. Yes, Exodus was a very good movie. That's why I feel like Ridley Scott, he usually gets it. Like when he does a historical epic or a biblical epic, like he gets it. He knows what he's doing. All right. Did you calm down, Frodo? Wanna come over here with Daddy? You wanna come over here and sit in my lap for a little bit? Yeah? You seem to have stopped jumping all around, so maybe your zoomies are done with. Yeah, you good boy. Oh, now you want some... You like those scratches? You still want to bite my fingers. Yeah? All the chickens are starting to crow. Oh, you're gonna rub your face all over my finger. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. Alright. Unless he starts crying to go out, I think we're okay for a little bit. Or jumps on the map. If he jumps on the map, I may not hear it until the map gets torn down behind me. Yeah, he does a good job of just sticking to whatever the story tells. He doesn't add a lot of embellishment to things. I still think one of the best films I've ever seen by him is not Gladiator, though. It's and now I'm blanking on the movie. It's the Crusades one with Orlando Bloom and gosh dang it, what is the name of that movie? I don't want to go look it up. I want to remember it off the top of my head. Gladiator's the easy one to remember because that's the one that won all the Oscars and everybody's seen it 20 different times. Alright, I'm looking it up because I'm not going to remember it. Ridley Scott, what was the big film you did that I really loved with... Kingdom of Heaven, that's the one I'm thinking of. That was a good, great movie. Like, that is one of the coolest films I think I've ever seen. I mean, that's 2005. That was hot off Orlando Bloom coming out of the Lord of the Rings movies. Hang on, Luke. Excuse me. Frodo's making weird noises. I think he probably needs to go out. What's up, buddy? Where are you? Troy is actually one of Christina's favorite films. I've seen it probably 4 or 5 times with Brad Pitt and Eric Bana. That's another really good movie, Troy. Got me excited for some historical epic films, man. The sword and sandal films. Yes, the Troy film was very, very accurate. These must be the ogres that people have been telling me about forever that you need to come kill for Mage Weave, because they're dropping tons of Mage Weave, which is awesome. Sorry for the slurpees there, everybody. My cup got a little away from me. Man, Lucas kind of... Not Lucas. Frodo kind of jumped on me and scratched my tummy a little bit. Put some alcohol on that. Since I have kittens, I do keep a little spray bottle of alcohol because we get scratched every day of the week. Yeah, Sean Bean totally is in Troy as Odysseus. Another underrated actor who I tried really hard to like Snowpiercer, the Netflix show, because Jennifer Connelly's in it and he's in it. And I tried really hard because it's got a couple of actors that I really respect and like, but I just can't. It's not a good show. At least for me, it hasn't been a very enjoyable watch. But I love. I haven't watched all of them. I've only caught a couple of them. But one of those original films that Sean Bean did, where he played Sharp, who's like this Scottish. Isn't he a Scottish Highlands character? Which is, here's the funny. So the author, what is it? Bernard Hill, I think is the name of the author. Let's see here. Bernard Hill. No, that's an actor. Bernard Hill is Theoden. The Last Kingdom author. Because the guy who wrote Bernard Cornwell, that's who it is. So this is a Bernard Cornwell. So the Sharp stories. So Sean Bean did those, but then he did. So I've never read these, and I just got a notification this morning on Facebook that his Warlord Chronicles are getting adapted for, I think it's Netflix, because they did very well with or Sony Pictures, but I'm not sure who's producer, who's going to air it yet. So The Last Kingdom, the Saxon stories, freaking amazing. Like, we're working our way through the 5th season on Netflix right now. It's so good. It's so good. But he also did the Sharp Tales, which is what Sean Bean got famous for portraying. Did 22 novels in that series, but I didn't know about this. Like, I've never read anything by Bernard Cornwell, and it's made me want to go read his books because I like all the film adaptations. So apparently he's got a series called The Warlord Chronicles, which is a trilogy depicting Cornwell's historical recreation of Arthurian Britain. The series posits that post-Roman Britain was a difficult time for the native Britons, being threatened by an invasion from the Anglo-Saxons in the east and raids from the Irish in the west. At the same time, they suffered internal power struggles between their petty kingdoms and friction between the old Druidic religion and newly arrived Christianity. He says these are his 3 favorite novels out of all the ones he's written. And I gotta say, I loved what they did with The Last Kingdom, so I'm really excited to see that this is another series of his that's being adapted. But that would have been appropriation, Jackson. You can't have a man taking a woman's place. What? I'm being sarcastic. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, they don't depict that in the films, and I like a lot of people forget from like the read-throughs just how hard Odysseus worked to avoid war. Like, it was not what he wanted, and they tried really hard to avoid it. And in the film, he's more of just kind of like a narrator, you know? Somebody over there has a crocodile pet I just saw. They pulled and ran. Oh, I'm gonna get an ad. I'm slowly wearing down Chris, ladies and gentlemen. She may be starting streaming again soon. I'm hoping I can get her back into it by August, by late August. It's gonna have to be a strategic time when she has nothing else to do. It'll probably be a night stream. We'll see. Yeah, I can't stop that song. Your thanks are good, Arter, but a tip or donation would have been better. Because now you're going to start taking my mobs, aren't you? Oh, he's going to move off. That'd be good if he goes somewhere else. No, he's gonna pull the mobs around here. Give me mage mana. Thanks, see you later. Oh well, whatever. I'm being petty right now is what I'm being. Oh, he invited me to a group. There we go. I take it all back, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching my stream, Arter, you earned your points back, sir. Wouldn't that be ironic if he was watching the stream? He's like, oh shit, maybe I should have grouped with the dude. That's funny. Anyway, I'm hoping I can get Chris going, because if I can get Chris into World of Warcraft Classic, because I have not streamed with her since before we moved, when we were doing Lord of the Rings Online. And she said yesterday, the other day, but she also recognizes that, well, you know, some of my, I say it's, you know, even though the channel is mine, She has appeared in many of the streams, and I often say her, we or our, because at the end of the day, it's not just me. I mean, she is a big part of what goes on here, and um, you know, as much as bringing me food on stream and picking the food out of my beard, and she's not a gamer though, is the thing. But she has at least tried a few times. And she said, you know, for the purposes of generating income and getting people, you know, more people to tune into the channel and everything else, she's willing to do it for that, which is why she's been involved in our tabletop, because even though she's not a tabletop gamer, she's never played D&D before, she did it because it's a business venture. Um, I would totally go play the song, Jackson. Like, I'd go listen to the songs. But here's the funny thing. The other day, I got nostalgia for the Neverending Story, and I went and looked up that video, and it played a split second. It was more than a split second. It played a few seconds of the intro to the Neverending Story before I had a chance to pause the video and just save it to watch later. And I got hit with a YouTube, not a strike, but I got hit with a YouTube copyright notification for like 4 seconds of a clip that I listened to during like a 5-hour live stream, and I was like, you know what, this is a little bit stupid on some of the automated stuff. So I would love to go like listen and watch clips of Disney right now, but I'm not going to. I'll save those for later. Oh man, that new Blizzard takes a ton of mana. Well, a lot of the stuff is automated, and it's so strict that you just hit 2 seconds of anything and you can get, like, I've stopped, my reaction videos no longer include like the video um, of the whatever it is. You know, like when I do the Rings of Power reaction videos, I don't actually include the video footage of those anymore because every single time I do, even if it's just like little 5-second clips, I get hit. And I even tried to do a Star Trek one for Strange New Worlds without the audio. All I was using was video clips throughout my video, and I still got hit with a copyright claim, which means they get all the revenue, and I'm no thanks. Like I'm at the end of the day, I'm making YouTube content for my revenue, you know, and yeah, so. How do you share a quest? Aha! That's how you do it. Well, that person may not speak English, but it's all good, whatever. I'll let them do their own thing. He's back now. It's like, I'm guessing English is not his first language because I had invited him and he wasn't paying attention. Speak English or Spanish is not so difficult. Beyond English and Spanish, I'm at a loss. Laden Dew Gland. What is this from? Strange creatures called dew collectors. Okay. Oh, it must be a rare drop off of these. Oh no, I haven't seen one of these before. These are the other version of the thistle rubs. Thistle shrubs. And yeah, they barely get onto big channels for anything. But that's because big channels make lots and lots and lots and lots of revenue. My channel is growing, but not making lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of revenue. YouTube only makes a few $100 a month from me. They don't make millions. Maybe one day. I can say it'll be very interesting to see what August looks like, because I've been able to track the growth throughout June and July, just ramping up into full-time production, and I can see what the growth has been like. But at some point, the growth does not remain at a steady incline. At some point, you do start to peak, and it plateaus out. And then, you know, you might be at a plateau for a little while, and then you might see more incremental growth. But it's generally not it's generally not non-stop. Excuse me. It's generally not non-stop, incline. So it'll be interesting to see when my plateau happens, because right now we've been at a very gentle but steadily growing. If I can get the channel to where it's doing $1,000 a month by the end of the year, I'm going to be very, very happy and comfortable, with that, because we don't need a ton. I'm not saying I don't want a ton. There's a difference between being comfortable with just because you can be comfortable with $1,000 a month doesn't mean you don't want to make $10,000 a month. But I'm okay with when that growth happens. Like, I'm not in a rush to get to the $10,000 a month stage. $1,000 a month for me is very comfortable, because we only need half of that for our bills. So we're getting there. If we keep doing the same amount of we almost hit $800 this month. Almost. I don't think we will. It'll depend on, I think, today. Today's the last day of the month. Yesterday was the first day in a little bit that we haven't done Heart of the Wild. Yesterday was the first day that we haven't done any super chats or super stickers. But that happens. Like, that's happened throughout the month. We've had maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 days throughout the total of the month where we didn't bring any super chats or memberships or anything. But for the most part, I think we had like 25 days where we at least made some money. And so I was able to net, I think as of this morning, I'll go look at it real quick, because I'm going to do the analysis video next month. As of this morning, we have done $787 for the month. So, I mean, it just depends on what comes through today. So if, depending on we've got this stream, and we've got the EverQuest stream this morning from 7 to 10. We may see some additional revenue, and we might hit $800 for the month. But it's going to be interesting if we do. Be really cool if we did. Last month we did 716 net, and this month we're at 787 net. That's not net tax, that's net YouTube's take. I still gotta pay taxes out of that. But like I said, we hit our goals this month, which was great, because I need to net a certain amount, to hit my goals. We hit the goals. We're beyond the goals now this month. So if August tracks the same, and we do another $750 to $800 a month in August, then we're going to be good to go. And then if we can grow it to $1,000 a month by the end of the year, I'm going to be very, very happy with my YouTube progression. And then the Patreon page is building up too. So at some point, my brother and I will actually start being able to taking revenue from the Patreon page, but that's still just paying for assets and stuff. For the most part, Jackson, for the most part, I can say that yes, I'm not greedy, but I definitely am. I might not promote it as much as I could, but I am absolutely all about the subscription growth and the ads and plugging all my stuff. And I may have talked about this in last Monday's Monday Musings. Right. Well, so my day job for a very long time was marketing. So I've been around the block a few times and I've built quite a few brands. This is the first time I focused on my own stuff, like me, which honestly I should have started doing like 7 or 8 years ago, but I was busy doing other stuff. And the one thing you learn very early on is if you just need to do it organically. I will be promoting things a lot more in August, at least as far as the Patreon goes and everything else, because the Patreon is something that it's not just me. The Patreon is our business. So the Discord is actually our business Discord. That's the Wandering Hermits Discord. It's just that because I'm one of the owners of the company, one of the founders, along with my brother and my wife, there is a section of that Discord that's dedicated to my stuff, the Renfail's Refuge. Then everything we do with the Gaming Guild, which is the Raven Syndicate, is within that because we use that as a back channel to get people into the community, and then by the nature of that, they are then interested in what we're doing with all of the things with Weave and the Void and the Wandering Hermits, which includes all the stuff we're doing with the tabletop, Nathan and Sparoh and Bounty Code and Skinny and the D&D streams on Sunday nights, and that all ties into everything. And then we're doing the multi-streams with Nathan and Sparoh and Kel and etc. So it is all part of one giant networking loop, but we're doing the marketing in a very organic way. But August, I think I talked about this last Monday. I think it was Monday Musings 73. August, we're going to be heavily promoting the Patreon page. Like, we haven't actually started promoting that yet. We've mentioned it every once in a while, but I don't heavily promote it. But we're at the point now where we have 5 episodes of the live stream campaign out. The book has been out. The source book has been out since the end of May. We just did the first update to it on Thursday. Our point and click game is going to be out the end of this year. And we're ramping up to having a Kickstarter for the hardback versions of the books. which is a little different than a normal Kickstarter because we're not actually doing it for an idea or a concept. We already have the product. It's already out in digital format. People can subscribe to the Patreon or they can go buy a standalone copy of the website. But we've just been, since March of last year when we started the project, we've literally just been documenting everything through Patreon, 3 posts a week, and just building up our library of art. And I'm writing chapter 24 on Monday and Tuesday for the Patreon. So chapter 24 of the book is out. So we're basically halfway through the first novel in that series. So we're at the point now where we finally have enough content to start promoting the shit out of everything. So I appreciate what you say. I do try to keep it to a minimum, but starting in August, we will be heavily promoting the Patreon page. Because that's something we're trying to build up to $3,000 a month of revenue, which is a lot of subscribers. But that's because it's not just about me. It's myself, it's my brother, it's my wife. We're trying to bring Nathan Napalm on to do art full time. We'd like to bring another developer on board to work with us on the point and click game, and that, all that requires money. So the first goal is $1,500 a month, at which point I start writing chapters once a week as opposed to once every 2 weeks. Then at $3,000 a month, we actually start splitting the revenue with Nathan. So it then becomes my brother and I split it. Right now we split it 50-50. Chris and I get half, my brother gets half. But we don't actually take any of the money right now because all of it's been going to pay our contractors and assets for the game. But since we're done with the contractors for the moment, but Nathan's going to be doing art for the Kickstarter, and we have a stretch goal on the Kickstarter for more art from him. And we have more art that we'd like to get from Becca. That's going to be tied to a stretch goal with the Kickstarter. And then once we get that Patreon page up to $3,000 a month, we then bring Nathan on as a full-time contractor, and then we're then splitting that money with him 3 ways. So Chris and I get 33%, Joey gets 33%, and Nathan gets 33%. So we definitely have goals with the Patreon, but that's a business. Whereas my YouTube channel is my, I'm operating as a sole proprietor, but it's different than what we're doing with Wandering Hermits. So yeah, I haven't plugged the hell out of it yet, but I will be plugging the hell out of it starting in August. But that's also something that's it's a lot different than what I do here. I mean, it's sort of related to what I do here, but also not. Like, I don't do any game dev content on my channel. Where are these dudes?
Salutations. Right.
I am honored with Ratchet and Everlook. Cool.
Talk to me. Glad I could help.
But I can also say that just being organic about it, Jackson, I mean, our growth has been very good over the last 2 months, and I'm where I need to be, Collect the violet dragon and return it to her.
Hey, how you doing? Be good. Time is money, friend. Hurry back.
Where is this? Oh, that's way down there. Head to the hinterlands. Oh. So I gotta go to the hinterlands for that one. Jackson says, could you tell me how to get the book? Where do I start? I've seen this stuff. Um, well, there's multiple things. So that's the thing. What we're doing with the Patreon is so different than what a lot of people do. And because we haven't heavily promoted it yet, a lot of people don't know what we're doing. So that world map behind me is the world setting. So we used Dragonlance as our foundation block. So the way they built Dragonlance is um, Tracy Hickman and his wife built the setting and created that setting for Wizards of the Coast, or at the time, TSR, and wrote a bunch of modules for the world. So before there were novels in Dragonlance, before there was anything, Tracy Hickman and his wife created that world and built it as a setting for first edition or second edition, excuse me, for second edition AD&D. After the setting was established and they had sold modules and everything else, they then started working on a book series, which Tracy Hickman wrote with Margaret Weiss, which are the Dragonlance novels that everyone knows. After the novels came video games. So when we sat down, previously my brother and I worked. We founded Stormhaven Studios. I was the founder of that, and I was the CEO for 7 years. And I was also the creative director on the Saga of Leucemia mmorpg, which was based on my IP, the Saga of Leucemia, and that's what this book is all about. Um, and then various things happened, and they rebranded to Embers Adrift, and my brother and I are doing something else now, which is a little smaller. Um, so when we sat down to develop our new project, we said we want to do a. We really love the old point and click games, like King's Quest and Quest for Glory and stuff. So we wanted to build our own point and click game. And we knew that was something we could do with just the two of us. Now, you need a setting for that. So then when we started casting around ideas for how we can build this, we said, well, why don't we do what Dragonlance did? Why don't we do what Tracy Hickman and his wife did? We build the setting, we can set the game in the world, and we can also have a book series set in the world. So we said, cool, let's build it all simultaneously and document that process through Patreon and build up patrons along the way. What's up, Lucas? Mommy just threw you in here. Are you in trouble? Come here. So we started building this in March of 2021. I got very lucky in that. You want to come say hi, Chris? You want to come say hi to the stream? You don't have to. What's up, Mujin? So I'm giving backstory here, Jackson. So this might take a few minutes. So Chris has always wanted to draw, and she's always been sketching and doing sculpting around the house and arts and crafts. So I said, hey, do you want to maybe come do artwork on this new project? And she said yes. So I was able to get her on board right away, and she started doing stuff on actual pen and paper, sketches and stuff, all the way back in like February of last year. So anyway, we built the setting, which is the Weave in the Void, and everything's been developed from day one. Chris is gonna come say hi because I'm talking about her artwork.
Morning, everyone.
Are the cats being bad or good?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, Lucas.
What is
I
Lucas?
think
Okay. Well, he's fine in here. Thank you. So it's a setting. First and foremost, it is a setting of a world. And we chose to use 5th edition because it's the easiest setting to use. Everyone knows it, and that's what everyone's doing. Like Ouroboros and all these other worlds are using the 5th edition rule set so that they don't have to create their own rule set. And you can just use the OGL license, the Open Game license, and the SDR, standard definition rules, that Wizards of the Coast provides, and you can just use. So that's what we did. So it's a setting. So there is a source book. That's the first product. The source book was launched on May 31st. The source book includes all the information about our setting, the lore, the world, the history, the races, the classes, the factions, and the backgrounds. And in that source book is also the first campaign module for the overall campaign of the Weave of the Void, which is called Escape from Parthona. That's what we're currently live streaming on Sunday nights with Nathan Napalm, Bounty Code, Sparoh, Skinny, and Chris, and my brother. So we live stream the Escape from Parthona series right now. And then we're developing, basically think of it like Critical Role. We're developing right now, we're getting into, once we get from Escape Parthona, we're getting into Season 1 of the Weave in the Void live stream campaign. And that's going to be a campaign that lasts a year, 2 years. We don't know how many episodes, but we're anticipating a minimum of 100 episodes for that. And we have a business partnership with Nathan and Bounty and Sparoh and everything on Twitch, which is separate than what Joey and I are doing with Chris on the Weave in the Void stuff on the Patreon page. But that's the tabletop component. So if you like Dungeons and Dragons and all that other stuff, this is a homebrew setting for 5th edition. So that book is already available. You can get it at the Patreon page at the Dungeon Master tier, which is $15 a month after you've subbed for 3 months. There's a 3-month minimum subscription. You get a whole bunch of other stuff included in that subscription, which I'll talk about here on the stream since we're doing a promotional snippet and a backstory. You can also buy a standalone copy at weaveandvoid.com for I think just like $30. You can get a standalone copy, but you don't get any of the cool perks that you get on the Patreon page. The Patreon page, you get the map packs for free, you get avatar packs that Nathan's going to be working on, you get all this stuff for free. And there's also, as part of the $15 a month tier, you also get access to the $8 a month tier and the $3 a month tier. And those are important because the $8 a month tier includes all these concept art snippets and updates that we do on concept art from Chris and Nathan and Becca. You also get access to the outline updates as the outline for the novel gets updated and so on and so forth. And there's also snippets and excerpts from the novel. The novel is, this is where we get into the third product. It's actually the second, I guess we haven't talked about the other one. So the second product is the novel. Now traditionally when you write a novel, you'll write the whole novel over like a 3 to 6 month period of time, then you'll revise it and get it out for sale. This time we've taken a serialized approach. So I'm writing the novel in a serialized manner on the Patreon page, which means the chapters come out every 2 weeks. So twice a month we publish a chapter in the Weave in the Void book 1. And that book is going to contain around 50 chapters. So we're getting around to the halfway point now. So our chapter 24 is coming out next week. Anybody who's a $3 a month supporter and up gets access to the book chapters as they are published. Those are for all the patrons. Then there's the third product, which is the point and click adventure game, which is what my brother works on primarily. I do the writing and design work with him, but he does all of the Unreal development. I don't touch any of that right now. I did a lot of Unity development when we worked on the mmorpg, but I'm not doing any of the Unreal development on this game. That's my brother's domain. There is a free demo on our Patreon page. You can go to patreon.com/wanderinghermits and you can sign up to the newsletter. And when you do that, you get access to a demo, which is about 30 to 45 minutes long, which is our point and click game. It's very much like the original King's Quest games. There's no combat in it. It's just quests and puzzles and a lot of dialogue and lore and a lot of Easter eggs. If you like science fiction and fantasy, there's a lot of Easter eggs in there from like Firefly and Wheel of Time and stuff like that. What's up, Mary? The point and click game is due out later this year. It's going to be released in chapter formats. So the first chapter is going to be out by the end of the year, and it's probably going to be a 10-hour adventure game, like 10 hours. And then we'll have a second chapter coming out next year, which will be about another 10 hours. I think we're going to do 3 chapters is the plan right now. And then we're going to start working on the next project, which is probably going to be an open world RPG set in the same world, which is the world of the Weave in the Void. Now, so that's what we've been working. That's what the Patreon is. The Patreon is the setting that we've been working on since March of 2021, which includes a 5th edition tabletop setting, campaign modules, which the first of which is already out, and then we're live streaming the second one and the third one and the fourth one. And every few months, a new module will become available on the Patreon page for our Dungeon Master subscribers. And those will also eventually become available as standalone modules that will be sold on our website. So kind of like, D&D has the Lost Mine and Phandelver and all these different campaign modules that you can purchase. We're doing that exact same thing, but within our own universe and our own setting. That is the short version, Jackson. So that's the short version of how to get the book. Well, if you want the tabletop book, then you can go buy a standalone copy at weaveandvoid.com, or you can subscribe to the Patreon at the Dungeon Master tier, which is $15 a month, and after 3 months you get a copy of that, and it includes the first module of our campaign. And along with that subscription, you get a whole lot of other perks. We do 3 updates a week on the Patreon page, and we've been doing those since March of 2021. Every Tuesday is a tabletop update. Every Thursday is a book or concept art update or a book chapter, and every Sunday is traditionally a point-and-click adventure game update. Occasionally, those will change a little bit depending on what our schedules are. Last couple of weeks, Joey's been really busy helping his father-in-law. He bought a house that ended up having black mold and severe rot and other issues that the inspector didn't tell them about. And so my brother's having to help him remodel this house. So he hasn't been able to get a lot done on the adventure game. So for example, last Sunday and today's update, as an example, will not be adventure game updates. They will be general updates about other things that are happening with the project. So I handle all the writing for the novel and the tabletop and the video game. Chris handles all of the concept art for the tabletop game. My brother handles all the development for the Unreal portion of the point-and-click game. And then we have Nathan and Becca, who is Bounty and Sparoh's daughter, have done artwork on races, classes, and creatures for our tabletop stuff. And then Nathan just finished up a general art pack of 8 images that we're going to be putting together as a package that we're going to put up on the Patreon page for our subscribers as well, for the Dungeon Master tier subscribers, which are general art images that can be used anywhere. And Mujin showed up and said, I'm here. I heard my second favorite content creator was online, so I'm here to support. Ren Fabulous. Welcome, Mujin. Anyway, now that you've got me ranting for a few minutes about the thing that I work on every single day, which I haven't promoted a lot of yet. I do mention it once in a while, but I haven't started promoting the Patreon page, but we're actually starting promotion in August. And the cool thing is YouTube just announced yesterday. I'm really happy about this. YouTube just announced an update yesterday that shorts are now going to be able to be created based off of your long form video. So usually what I had to do in the past was if I wanted to create a short of any of my pieces of content, I had to manually record it, put it into a vertical format, and then publish that as a standalone short. That's no longer the case now. The update hasn't been rolled out to everybody's phones yet, but it's coming. It got announced on July 28th, which is a couple days ago. So with the new YouTube update, this is amazing for all of the things we're doing. Moving forward, content creators like myself will now be able to go to one of our own videos while we're on our phone. We'll be able to go to one of our long form videos and create a short directly from that video. And then that video will link back to the longer form content. So when someone watches your YouTube short, it will automatically have a link to the video from where that short was created, which is going to be amazing for content marketing and people like myself, because not only will we be able to do it for my own personal channel and all the things that I do here, I'll be able to start creating clips for my Rings of Power videos, clips for my streams, all this sort of stuff. And as far as the Weave and the Void is happening and doing, we'll be able to start creating clips around all the Dev Diary updates as well as all of the live streams, because we port those over from Twitch to YouTube on Wednesdays. So I'll be able to start cutting like 60-second clips from all of the live streams and publishing those as shorts for the Weave and the Void YouTube channel. So it's some really cool stuff happening. August is going to be a really important month for us on a marketing standpoint. Anyway, that's all the Weave and the Void stuff. I have seriously got a bio now, so I'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you for letting me talk about the thing that I work on every single day, because when I'm not streaming, that is what I work on since March of 2021, and that's our newest venture that we're building into a company that hopefully is going to be able to support, half a dozen people at some point. Right now we're working on it. Supporting 3 people and hopefully 4 people by the end of the year. Stay tuned. Let's see here. I am officially back. So, Chris actually just asked me. She's like, "Do you tell people that you that you're gonna go to the?" She's like, "What do you tell people when you're gonna go to the bathroom?" I said, "We just use the term bio." She's like, "Do you tell people that you're gonna go take a dump?" And I'm like, "No, Chris, but I do say, I'm gonna go take a bio, and that just means either a number one or a number two. I'm either gonna go pee or poop. If I take a long time, it probably means that I'm taking a poop. If I'm back in 90 seconds, I probably just had to pee. But it was just funny because I don't think she's ever paid attention to that, and so she was like, "How do you tell people that you're going to the bathroom?" You just say I'm taking a bio, and that could mean it's one of two possibilities. So it's pretty easy to figure out. If I'm back real quick, well, there you go. If I'm not back real quick, there you go. And just for ease of reference, I just put a link to our Patreon page in the YouTube for those that want to go read up on what we're doing. Next month, like I said, next month we're starting promotion. I mean, so I'll be talking about it more here on my channel. It won't become the only thing I talk about because my channel is my channel, and I do other stuff here. I do gaming and Rings of Power and Mondays in Middle Earth and other stuff. Hopefully getting Chris to do some streams with me this month again. Is that going to be in a cave, or is it just going to be... It's 5:30. Got about another hour and a half until our EverQuest TLP group kicks off. I will be switching the stream over at that point. These are different. Oh, these are wasps. I was gonna say they're just a different color, but it's the exact same mobs as the one I was killing earlier. Oh my, this is kind of dangerous. Making me nervous. Oh, am I gonna have to go in? Uh-oh, something happened. Oh, I bet I'm gonna have to go down and in. Crap. Alright, well, let's go check up top first, but I'm 90% sure I'm gonna have to go in somewhere. The question is, where is in? Stupid swarmer is gonna get me. Yeah, that's definitely gonna be like... Oh, are you summoning bitches? Okay, maybe not. But that graphic, that animation made me a little nervous. Oh, you did summon bitches. Okay, they're dead. Alright, well I guess we're going down and in. The question is, I don't know which tunnel I'm going in. It's a tunnel right here, so let's try this one first. Yep, it's down this one. Alright, this is not a safe place for solo mage, so I need to make sure I'm full mana at all times. Alright, I need to get comfortable because this is dangerous territory. I know I saw a pather go down to the left. Whoa, what is that thing? Alright, well, it's not aggroing. That's good. Oh, it's coming back. Okie dokie. This is dangerous for my solo mage. This is what I get for waking up and having insomnia and playing without Maduros. I'm gonna be struggle bussing to not die. Teach me to play alone. Yeah, I'll be fine. I'm just being chatty about it. A lot of people are like, do you like the mage more than the hunter? I feel like the hunter is better. I don't know. I like the mage more than the hunter. I really do. But I've also been, that could be because I've never done a caster before. And so I'm really enjoying like playing a pure caster. And also because the hunter is for a static group, so I can't level him because he has to stay level locked. So by the very nature of that, I've just been playing the mage a lot, and so there's an affinity for the mage now because I'm naturally playing it a lot. Excuse me. Excuse me. But the mage is quite survivable as long as you take your time. I feel like the mage is has just as much survivability as the hunter. It's just you have to be more cautious than you do with the hunter. Should I not have recalled? Okay, yeah, I should have. I keep forgetting about this one. Poisons all the enemies.
What's up?
He was a good goblin, young Scrimshank. Let's hope his demise was in vain, but that he was able to record their surveying equipment.
Bugs are too cunning. They may even be under the controlling influence of a third party. This feels very Stormship Troopers, everybody, Starship Troopers. Talk with Alchemist Pestle Zone. My coffee's wearing off.
I got the best deals anywhere. Keep it real. Talk to me.
All right, going to Darnassus. Let's port there. So, I love the idea of how coffee actually, not the idea, but I love how coffee actually works. So it doesn't actually, caffeine does not give you more energy. It just blocks, it inhibits, I can't remember the name of the particle in your body that it blocks from binding to your cells. So it builds up in your system all day and it blocks that. And so for a brief period of time, you don't feel tired because those receptors, you're being blocked from those things attaching to the receptors. So anyway, it's fascinating stuff. I don't know the scientific stuff for all of it. I was watching a really cool conversation about coffee the other day and the way coffee works. and how that's why you usually have a caffeine. When your caffeine starts wearing off, you can often feel like a rebound effect. What I'm feeling right now is the rebound effect. Like, because I woke up at 2:30 in the morning. I'm sleepy. I'm naturally sleepy, but I drank coffee because I wasn't able to sleep. So I was like, I'm just going to drink coffee, get up and stream. So coffee doesn't wake you up. It just blocks those receptors from registering that you're actually sleeping. But it's wearing off now, and I'm like, yawn. But no time to sleep because at 7 a.m. we have an EverQuest TLP group. So I've got to power on. It may mean I just go make another pot of coffee. But once I wrap up the EverQuest stream, I will absolutely be sleeping.
I am honored.
We Night Elves know of the terror mentioned here. Fizzletasser was west to send you. These creatures will consume the Teneris Desert rapidly. They are nothing short of one of the greatest menaces we will all ever face. Familiarize yourself with this name, Erendil. Silithid. The insects mentioned here are the Silithid, and they are the tools of one of the greatest threats that both the Horde and the Alliance face. If only we were smart enough to see that before. It would seem that the Slithid's intent, or nay, their very reason for being, is to devour everything in their path that is not of their ecology. Their focus is singular, and it is for this reason they are a grave threat to all life on Azeroth. What we've seen to date is but the first stages. I suspect that their strength comes from deeper in Kalimdor, Ungoro Crater. Go to Gadgetzan in the Tenaris Desert and speak to Alchemist Pestilzug. Tell him of my theory. I'm sure he will aid us in fighting the Silithid. So this is really cool. This is what I'm talking about. Like, in between all of the fetch quests, you will occasionally come across stuff like this, which are these richer, deeper quest lines. Ironforge is quicker. Let me catch up on YouTube chat. Bujin says, I have a thought about certain bosses. Hang on, before I do that, let me just go get on the flight before I start reading YouTube chat, because I actually want to be able to read, and I can do that while I'm flying. Because I'm pretty sure we got to go to the Hinterlands for this other thing. Where did it go? Bring the this one. A mushroom called the Violet Tragon. Look for a small lake in the Hinterlands. It's only found underwater. Alright, so let me get on the flight, because it'll be a little bit of a flight to the Hinterlands, and then I can actually address YouTube chat. I have a point to spend, too. Take me to the Hinterlands. Alright. Thought about certain boss encounters in dungeons have it be instanced, but it's more like Elden Ring, meaning that once the boss is down and on a cooldown, the room is open for all to explore. It's interesting. GNL says Hunter has both a built-in tank and crowd control, so it seems more self-sufficient. Yeah, I'm full Beastmaster spec on mine. It's pretty beefy. We just keep people from holding it. They get 5 minutes to start. After 5 minutes, the encounter is started, whether you're ready or not. That is to keep people from just holding it forever. If you fail, you're locked out for say 30 minutes. Why have a lockout? I mean, if you fail, you should be able to just go right back and try it again. If it's instanced, why would you need a cooldown? Like, that's, maybe I'm not understanding that part, Mujin. If it's an instance, because your first comment says, have it be instanced. Once the boss is down on a cooldown, the room is open for all to explore. So what's instanced? The room or the boss encounter? Because if the boss encounter, if any part of it's instanced, there doesn't need to be a cooldown or a lockdown. lockout. Man, I can't speak. I need more coffee. There doesn't need to be a lockout if there is an instance, because if it's an instance, you should be able to just keep doing it over and over until you succeed. That's one of the things I love about instancing in EverQuest 2 and World of Warcraft is that if we screw it up, we can go back and try again, and as long as we have the money to repair our armor, we just keep going. It's not a true instance. Maybe I'm just not familiar enough with Elden Ring. I haven't played it. I mean, I've watched a bunch of videos, but... Oh, I should totally do some crunches. I keep saying crunches. It's not crunches. It's squats. I can do some squats while I'm sitting here. Sitting here being lazy, just not doing anything. Get the blood pumping. They have a bubble around bosses, but since it's a single player game, they are gone forever. I'm just a big fan of instancing all that shit. If I'm paying a monthly sub and you're paying a monthly sub, then we should both have equal access to content without needing to wait for each other. Game companies need to respect my time. I should not need to be waiting to consume content. I should be able to log in and do all the things I want to do without lockouts or things of that nature. I'm okay with spawn timers. Like, that's cool. Like, the boss is on a random spawn timer or he has placeholders or things of that nature. I'm okay with that. But I'm a bigger fan of instancing so that I can just log on and do what I need to do. That's why I really love the way EverQuest 2 did things. Vanguard was pretty good about that as well. Vanguard had open dungeons, but the nice thing about Vanguard was that bosses were unique and you could spawn them in many cases for your group. So you could get to an area and spawn your own version of the boss and not have to wait on a placeholder. You didn't have to wait for another group to do it. You could just fight your way down to the bottom. It was all open dungeons, open content, but then the boss was instanced so that you could always do progression content and not be forced to wait, which I'm a big fan of. Bubble around bosses. Okay. My version makes it so no one can come in the area and mess with your fight, whether to help or to troll you. So that was the one thing in Vanguard. You could turn on the ability for other players to help you when you fought a boss, or you could turn it off so that no one could help you. But it was up to you and your group. Like, you could choose whether or not you wanted to allow people to help you with the boss fights. Or you could say, no, we don't want any help. We want to do this challenge according to the strengths and weaknesses of our group. Like one of the coolest things I love from EverQuest 2, and it's something that they borrowed from World of Warcraft, is the persistent instances. So that, for example, on the longer dungeons, like Unrest in EverQuest 2, or the raids, like, you know, the Rise of Kunark stuff, Ruins of Kunark stuff, you go in, you fight, you kill 2-3 bosses, whatever it is, however much time you have, and you log out, you come back the next day, and you pick up where you left off. Rinse, repeat. And you can take as long as you need to finish a dungeon or a raid. Up to, I think they have like a 7-day total timer. Like you have 7 days to clear the instance in its entirety. Return it to Gadget Zan, which means we're going back to Darnassus. And then back to Gadget Zan. We have 2 turn-ins there. Down to the last hour, ladies and gentlemen, because I will be switching over to EverQuest TLP at 7 a.m. It's now 6 a.m. local time.
Peace be with you.
Oh my god, that's a long flight. What would have been quicker? Theramore. Screw this. I didn't even think about that. Theramore's closer. So out of curiosity, what do you mean it cheapens the lore? Because as a writer and as a creator, I don't see how allowing everyone to pursue their own version of something cheapens the experience. Like, cheapens the lore.
Well met.
It might affect the social aspect of the game, but that doesn't have anything to do with the lore. So I'm looking for clarity on what you mean by it cheapens the lore. It definitely lowers the social interaction of an MMORPG, which there are pros and cons. The pro is that it respects my time. Instancing respects my time as a player. I don't have to wait on other people, and no one can roadblock me into like not being able to progress. So instancing is very good in those 2 regards. But the downside of instancing is that I don't need to rely on the players of the community as much as I would in a public dungeon. I still need to rely on other people, which is why guilds form, and I think guilds are a great social tool to provide players with access to the content. But some people are against the instancing because they feel that it fractures the community into guilds as opposed to relying upon pugs. But no one likes pugs in any case. Everyone always complains about pickup groups. No one likes pickup groups, whether it's a game that has instances or doesn't have instances. Sometimes you're trying to bang a square peg into a round hole when you group up with people that you've never played with before. the moment the reason why I'm such a big fan of instancing is because I was not in the #1 guild on the server when Luklin hit EverQuest, and I was in a 3rd tier guild, and we had to wait for 6 fucking months because the #1 guild on the server cock-blocked the rest of the server from progressing on their Sraw keys to go kill the Emperor. They literally permacamped the mob because they had hundreds of players and they just permacamped it, and that sucked because we had to wait for 6 months to go do the raids. And when instancing came around, it immediately removed that roadblock, and I was like, hell yeah, we can now go raid when we want and what we want. We no longer have to wait on other people. That was the coolest feature ever. We're going to have to agree to disagree on that point, Mujin. On the saying that there's 500 Lich Kings, because that's an aspect of gaming where you just have to suspend your disbelief. Like, that's like, that argument could be used for every single quest NPC that ever exists in a game, because they're giving the same quest to thousands of people. So everywhere, like this guy right here, Sprinkle, has given quests to millions and millions and millions and millions of players. So by that logic, Sprinkle is breaking the lore because he's offering a static quest that millions of people could take. So I understand where you're coming from, but I think that that's one of the areas that you just have to suspend your disbelief for a game. Maduro's just brought something up very good. By that logic, one would say yes. Once the mob is dead, he needs to be dead. Like I think the argument that you're making right there could also apply to the, what is that called in EverQuest? The sleeper, because the sleeper can only be awoken one time by one guild on any server, and once it's down for the whole server, and no one will ever be able to do that content ever again. So from a lore perspective, the sleeper is awesome because only one of them exists and it's a very rare thing, but that doesn't make for good content because no one else gets to do it. And by the way, sorry Maduros for playing without you, but I woke up and couldn't sleep, so I just said screw it, I'm gonna level the mage until we play EverQuest today. Thank you, Flowing Snake J says for $5. Love your style and the way you approach your streaming. Thank you, sir. Or madam. I don't want to assume your identity. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for supporting the channel with a super chat and for being here. It's really awesome. Thank you, Flowing Snake. All right, we gotta take this over to this dude. By the way, I'm not trying to be argumentative, Mujin. It's a discussion. I also hate the whole storyline when someone tries to tell you you are the prophesied one, because it makes zero sense when you have static quests. Like, I can't be the chosen one if this quest giver is giving the same quest to millions and millions of other people. But that's just something we have to disregard that and suspend our disbelief, because that's something that it logically can't exist, that this quest giver is going to give me the same quest as you or Maduros or any other player. Alright. So it looks like the only other thing I have left now these are all Unguro Crater quests now. And it looks like there's a whole bunch of other quests. Oh, and there's a flight path in there. So I'm guessing that's the next logical place that my character is supposed to go, is the Unguro Crater. Morning, Sparoh. Hey, I'm speaking of coffee. I'm gonna go see if Chris left me any or if she drank the last cup, because I've had two, but I've been up since 2:30 and I'm feeling the need for another cup. Alright. Chris is going to make another pot. Or another French press of coffee. Because I got an EverQuest stream starting in about an hour. Alright. Ungurl Crater. At the very least I can run there. Is this the way in? No, that's, I'm in a different, I need to go way over there. So there's, I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for whatever is the pass. I'm assuming I'm gonna have to run down the mountains over here until I find a pass up into, because it doesn't show a clearly defined break unless it's that one all the way down here to the south. Oh, I might be able to just ride up and over. Perhaps. But to find out. I have multiple quests in there. Can you literally just ride over here? Or is there some sort of like, I feel like there should be some sort of a geographical block. Oh yeah, okay, that's what it is. It's like massive, you'll take massive fall damage. Okay, I see what they've done here. I wonder if I could survive a series of multi-mini falls. It's probably not worth it. So look at that weird canopy because I'm above the tree line. Interesting. Alright, well let's search for the entrance in here. I wonder if it's this one all the way down here to the south, because there is a path looking thing leading up through here. Lizard, lizard, lizard. What's up, Helena? Rolf, Helena, etc. Boom Bam Boom says just slow fall it. I could, but I actually want to find the ramp down. Like, I want to find the legitimate way to get down in here. Since I'm a noob, I kind of want to actually learn the zone. Yeah, I'm assuming it's this one all the way down to the south, where Tuga shows up at. Because it totally looks like there's a path leading up into a pass on the map. Right down here. This area right here looks like it is a path. Sorry, I'm scrolling back up for the chat. It just says all fights were in EQ. All fights were with the one group that did the most damage. Since it was not PvP, there was very little it could do to stop you from just bring in your own group. And since they would have all their people, you just bring in a full group of DPS to out DPS them. And that's what I was talking about. The number one guild on the server had hundreds more players than any other guild, so that it was very easy for them to lock down the content. There was no competing against them. So everyone else was locked out of the content for 6 months, which was why I was so happy when instancing got introduced. Because then I was able to raise the middle finger to all those guilds that wanted to try to beat you or keep you from progressing, all that good jazz. Like if I wanted to play that type of style of game, I would play PvP, but I don't. It's like tabletop. I don't play tabletop RPGs to compete with other people. I play tabletop RPGs because I want to be friends with the people I play with, and I want to have fun with them. That transition is pretty abrupt, by the way. I got to go back and change the subject real quick. Like, okay, this is literally an ecological that's one of the more abrupt. Usually they're pretty gentle transitions, but this is a very abrupt transition. Just boom. Now we're in the jungle. All right. Now I'm assuming I need to get up to the flight path first. This is gonna be a long run up there. So I think because of time, what's up, Trips? I think because of time and the fact that we are moving to EverQuest in about 45 minutes. Before I do any quests, I'm going to run up there and make sure I have the flight path.
The winds guide you.
Oh, you've got multiple quests. I'm just grabbing all the quests because this looks like a good leveling place.
We shall meet.
Do I need these power crystals? It says that I do. What are they for? Well, we'll figure it out later. Bungle in the jungle. Oh, that said something about soil samples. I didn't see a soil sample. Am I going to need to turn down the... I may need to turn down the vegetation to be able to see what these samples look like. Alright, whatever. Let's go get the flight path, and then I'll worry about quests. That's what I said I was doing, and instead I did this anyway. Anyway, good morning, Trips, and everybody else joining. Welcome. This was my Insomnia stream. I got up at 2:30 in the morning. Just decided to play some World of Warcraft. Couldn't sleep. Hey, look. There's Groot. Or a version of Groot. I don't play retail, so I have no frame of reference, Boom Boom. Don't play retail, have only ever dabbled in retail one time during Burning Crusade for about 2 weeks. And then right after the movie came out, I played for a couple of weeks with Chris. Other than that, I have no experience with retail, so no frame of reference. Can I just cut across, or is it too dangerous to cut across? And why are all these crystals? I'm looting them without knowing what they're for. GNL says Unguru is a great level and area usually very packed due to thorium and rugged leather. There's one of the dirt piles. At least I know what they look like now. Ooh, there's raptors. Alright, maybe I'm gonna have to avoid. I don't know how to avoid. This looks rather dangerous. I'm totally gonna get eaten by velociraptors. Oh my god, they're everywhere. Get to the flight path, get to the flight path. Don't die along the way is the other mantra. There's basilisks. Super sticky tar. Oh, that's gonna be from these things. And somebody told me today that those are super bad drop rates from the tar beasts. Trip says, I've played both. I feel like Classic has captured something. The main difference I've noticed so far is the fact that the servers are locked with no cross-realm looking for group or sharding. So you only see people playing the same servers here, which I'm not really, I don't have a problem with either or, because the populations are high enough on these servers that you don't have issues finding groups. We have looked, although I will say that there can sometimes be a scarcity for tanks. We've had a couple of sessions where we've been looking for a tank forever, like 30-45 minutes, but there's always tons of DPS looking for group, usually healers looking for group. So those rare times when Maduros and I, for example, have been playing during like the mornings, which is not prime time for the server, we have sometimes had difficulty finding a tank, but there's never difficulty finding DPS at all. There's always plenty of DPS looking for group. Anyway, the point I was trying to make is that I don't have a problem with the limitation to hold up. Is that flight path not part of? Yeah, it's part of Unguro Crater. The question is, how do you get up there? I must have missed something. Oh, that's a ramp, isn't it? When a population is really, really small, I appreciate a matchmaker because it helps me find groups. But when the population is huge, like it is in Warcraft, you don't need it. It's enough to just be able to have a looking for group channel and a quick looking for group tool, and that's enough. It's great. But I do appreciate it. Like Star Wars: The Old Republic, if it weren't for the matchmaker, I wouldn't be able to find groups due to flashpoints and stuff. So I really appreciate it. So why is this quest different colored?
Good day to you. See you later.
How are you? Have a good one.
Yo! Glad I could help.
Oh, Oh, so if you get 15 blood petal sprouts, you can give them to her for some sort of quest. Alright. I'm assuming there's an NPC in here. Yeah, the limitation is definitely, I think it's been a good thing for the server overall. I know that's one of the quality of life features that they've talked about, you know, they were glad to implement was no matchmaker because they wanted people to spend more time communicating with each other. And from what I've seen, it's worked. Man, the way they did these crystals is really well done. I need to remember the flight path. JD Collie. Good day to you. Little freckled gnome. Aha! That's what we were gathering crystals for. That's good to know. So does the crystals... Yep, the crystals I was gathering already count towards that. That's really cool. Oh my goodness. Well, Chris is making more coffee. So I should have some more coffee in a little bit, a few minutes. I'm at 6:20. We are starting our EverQuest group at 7. Get the flight path over here. Alright, is there some way I can sell here? Weapon merchant. Yes.
Ah, potential customer.
I can also repair. Alright, those are all quest items. Noggin Fogger Elixir, Soulbound. Requires level 35. Use, drink me. Alright. Try that here in a minute. See what happens. Let's put our power crystals up in here. Okay. Alright. What happens when I drink this? Oh my god, it turned me into a skeleton. What the hell? You've stopped breathing. So is that like, does that work for underwater too? That's really well done. Why do I have a spiked spine though? That's kind of creepy. Uh-oh, Mujin says do a dance. Alright. Oh, do I literally have the undead dance now? Like the... I'm like a thrash metal dude. Alright. Best dance in the game. I mean, he's literally like doing a thrash metal dance. It's hilarious. He's like, yeah, fuck yeah. Blood Petal Pest. Alright, I have a ton of quests here. Make sure I don't need to do other things, because... Oh my god, that's a lot of quests. All right. Let me go do the Patreon update for the morning. I'll do that while I'm sitting here before I go a little deeper. Today is going to be a general update. Orcs have the best flex. The humans is pretty silly. I like the gnome dance. Like the gnome is pretty ridiculous. Like the butt slap and everything. Like the gnome dance is a little over the top. What was the date on Thursday? The 28th. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm not talking a lot right now. I'm writing the Patreon post so I can get this out the door. Today's update. Dun, dun, dun. The ogre dance is hilarious. I've never seen an ogre dance before. Taran male might have the silliest dance. Right. Mm-mm-mm. You can assemble a suit in Dire Mall. Cool. Alright. Right. Sunday update is out on Discord. We'll put the link here as well for people who want to check that out at your leisure. I'm going to take a quick bio and we will come back and take a look at where we're at. That hawk is back. Hang on, I gotta scroll up. Wait. I did not. Crit chicken. Maduro's Chippendale edition. Yeah, that stuff, I vaguely remember that stuff, but I was more into Mad TV. And yes, Patrick Swayze, man. Oh, God. Living in a down by the river. Dun, 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 dun. All right. I'm back. I have coffee. And now it's time to prep. I got to do my prep for the EverQuest stream. So, okay, that's out. Let's go to Canva. We need to get a thumbnail made. Or can I just use the thumbnail from yesterday? I could probably just use the thumbnail from yesterday. Let's go over to the live stuff. All right, here's what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to wind up the stream, and we're going to switch over to play EverQuest. There's going to be about a 5-minute or less. Won't take me that long. I just got to prep the live stream for EverQuest, which means I have to change a couple things over here on the live stream. I'm not just going to keep this one going because I want to separate it out into 2 different streams for content. So, if you're tuning in live, just wait here a few minutes. You'll get another notification that I'm live, or you can check on Discord because I will do an everyone tag as I get the EverQuest stream up and going, because we're about to run into our early morning EverQuest session. We're going to be playing about 3 hours on the TLP server, leveling up the Ixars there. So stay tuned for that. I'll have that up here in a few minutes. Stick around.